So that whole intro wasn't even captured in there. Okay. Okay. So, a lot of you know my story of how I started in the naturopathic field. My mother had this really, really aching pain, could not figure it out, ran every single test to find out what was going on, could not find out, couldn't figure it out. And with nothing else to do, no other hope. My grandmother said, I told you to go to the iridologist. So Dr. Gonzalez in New York, iridologist as well. She went to him, and 2 minutes and sitting in his chair, he said, well, you have gallstones. And so she's like, what? Like, he told her the diet that, how you, you develop gallstones. And that's exactly what she was eating at the time. And he gave her a remedy to flush her gallbladder, flush her liver. And by Monday, it happened on Friday. The remedy started on Friday. By Monday, no more gallstones. And I was just wowed by that. I said, wow, medical tests and lab tests could not figure it out. Someone looks in your eyes and bam, the answer is there. So from there, it just like started the path. Like I was like, I'm all in. And that's when I started going to school and like really studying iridology. And a lot of people ask me, oh, well, they teach iridology in naturopathic school. Why did you choose to like specialize in that? Well, they give you like a little bit of iridology. So I went ahead and started learning it more. Like I spent years really studying the iris and still studying. I am not done yet. I will never tell you I'm just a master, right? I'm still a student. I will always remain a student. So as I'm always teaching, I'm learning as well. Okay. Let's let some people in, and we're going to start sharing the screen here. Okay, are y'all ready to receive this information? Someone says you look really young. Yeah, I am in my early 30s, but the nutrition and all of that training. This is my martial arts shirt. All of that keeps me pretty young, very young. Okay, so let me share my screen here. Let's make sure we share the right one. And I have some, yeah, 1 second here, y'all. All right. And everyone, you can hear me okay, right? Everything is good here. Just kind of click that here. We're going to start off the slide here from the beginning. Okay, so welcome again. Welcome everyone to Healthy Gut, Healthy Kids. Simple nutrition that builds a strong immune defense system. I always like to add the defense, right? Around this time of year, a lot of children, they're missing school, right? There's sick days, there are more doctor visits, urgent care is packed probably right now with just symptoms of sore throats and ear infections, right? Oh my God, when I was a child, ear infections. I mean, I had a few of them, and the few that I remember was just excruciating pain. All right. So I said to myself, I remember when I was in my early 20s, I said, if I could never suffer a sore throat or an ear infection again, I will do anything. And that is what just really helped me to change my lifestyle, my food eating lifestyle. A little backstory about me too. I grew up vegetarian. My mother always taught my brother and I that food is related to how well you are. Right. So it wasn't rushing to doctors or where every little cold and sniff. It was literally going to the cabinet. Pardon me, guys. Literally going to the cabinet and getting the remedy there, whether it's garlic oil for the ears, cough syrup, cod liver oil. How many of us remember cod liver oil growing up? Okay. Wheatgrass shots. That's not, see, back in the early 2000s and even the 90s, a lot of people knew about the wheatgrass shots, and we would take that all growing up. So, and had my mother known about this nutrition that we're sharing tonight, I'm sure she would have been on it, right? So that's just a backstory of me, of just overall how I'm sharing this health and wellness with you. Okay, let's keep going. Let's think here. So I want to ask you a question, and I'm going to be checking the chat. Right? I want you to type it in the chat. Where does most of your immune defense tissue reside in the body? All right, please hurry up, chat. Type it now, right? Type it right now. I want to see it in the chat. I'm gonna look in the chat. Up, I see people are putting it in. Gut. Okay, okay. Hello from the gut. Yes, yes. Okay, everyone is saying the gut. Yes, I love it. I'm loving it. Okay, we got someone else. Gut. Okay. All right. Let's see. I'm already talking to the choir. I'm already preaching to the choir. Okay. So let me hide this here. Okay. So the answer is the gut, right? But why? What's in the gut? What's in our gut that we're finding that 70%, not half, not 30, not 20, but 70% of the immune defense lymphatic system exists in your gut. Now, what was so interesting of just studying iridology and naturopathic healing, specifically looking in the eyes, I would see um, the gut around the pupil area, the pupillary zone, which you're going to see in a minute, because I'm going to show you a child's iris and the state and the current state of their gut, right? And so looking at the iris and seeing, wow, this is where these challenges are coming from. This is the whole picture, right? Not fragmenting or looking at part of their health, but the gut is the key of what we need to be looking at. So what is this GALT, right? It's called the GALT. And GALT stands for gut-associated lymphoid tissue. Now, when you think of lymphoid, I want you to think of immune system. It's the same thing, right? It's the same thing. That's why I put it in parentheses, lymphatic immune defense, right? So your largest collection of lymphoid tissue in the human body is all throughout your gastrointestinal tract. So of course, we know the gut's immune system helps us to protect ourselves against pathogens, right? Bacteria, right? Parasites that may invade the body, right? And this reflects our overall health. A lot of us are learning more about the gut and its relation to our overall systemic health when it comes to breast, right? The breast issue, we have breast cancer awareness last month, right? The mood, how our brain functions, how our reproductive health functions, all of it lies here. Okay. So this includes structures as, and then we're gonna really, I'm telling you, it's so amazing when you start really getting into the gut microbiome, right? The Peyer's patches, right? When I first started learning about that, I was like, what is that? That's a cool kind of name, Peyer's patches. You just say it fast. Double P, right? That is specifically lining in the ileum, which is the last part of the small intestine. Now, I want you all, after you're done off this call, go on Google, search up Crohn's disease, IBS, in leaky gut and the ileum. And I guarantee you will see that most of the challenges that we face today when it comes to the gut, they have so many names for just the challenge lies here within the GALT system, right? The GALT has the disruption of the GALT has just created so many different names of diseases that we have today. Crohn's, right? A lot of people who suffer from Crohn's end up getting what? Their ileum removed or pieces taken out. And that is because those Peyer's patches, where a lot of that lymphatic tissue are damaged. And so we need to find out why they're damaged, not take it out, right? Cutting it out, cutting your intelligence. I like to call your lymphatic, your immune, your protection, your internal intelligence system. Cutting it out is not the answer, right? Because you need that. That's your military system in your body, right? And so I love to look at the human body as just a walking intelligence. It knows exactly what to do when given the right foods, the right environment, the right thoughts, movement, everything, right? The appendix, right? We're convinced that the appendix is a vestigial organ. Vestigial means that it's just non-useful. It was useful at one point and now it's not anymore. So we're seeing a lot of appendectomies happening, right? Appendectomies, tonsillectomies, are through the roof if you check the stats, especially amongst children between the ages of 10 and 17. Okay, so the appendix, right? What is the appendix for? Do you know the appendix also has a lot of that lymphoid tissue, a lot of helping to replenish, right? We're all talking about the gut microbiome. We're all like focused, laser focused on that. Did you know that when you get quote unquote sick, right, the appendix acts as a good bacteria reservoir, meaning that the appendix is like, okay, I'm here just in case you need me. Right. So you're taking all these antibiotics, you're just robbing your gut of good bacteria, right? You may get ill. So now your army has fought so much to keep you well. That's where the inflammation comes from, right? That's where the stomach aches come from, the sore throats. That's your body in action, your military system working for you. So the appendix is like, you know what? I'm here when you need me. Oh, alert, alert. We need you. So now the appendix is alerted to release and replenish the gut with the good microbes after antibiotics or an infection. How many of you have heard that from your doctor, right? When you've had an appendix inflammation or your child had an appendix inflammation, okay? Your tonsils, right? I was just telling my daughter about this, right? She ate something she wasn't supposed to. I raised her vegetarian, vegan as well. So she had cheese in school. She's like, my throat hurt. And I said, well, what's located in your throat? She said, my tonsils. And I said, well, what is your tonsils for? This is exactly how my 10-year-old said it to me. She said, it's a net for bad foods. And when she said that, I knew that I know she's listening to me. And that's exactly what your tonsils are. They are a net for poor bacteria entering the body before it can destruct or become destructive for the entire intelligence unit, which is your human body. So we look at sore throats, right? Doctors look at sore throats. We look at sore throats as a nuisance, a painful nuisance. But this is a sign that your lymphoid defense team is actively on guard for you. This is the galt, right? Inside the galt, right? You're here inside the vault, inside the galt. Okay, so we're going to be really going into how can we strengthen this galt. So we're talking about it, right? I'm really posing the question, why are our children so sick? Right? Childhood obesity, diabetes, childhood cancers, right? And I did a video years ago just explaining the rise of childhood cancer. You can check that out on my Instagram. I have so much content on there, right? Eczema, asthma, allergies, rising diagnosis and common surgeries, as we talked about, tonsillectomy and appendectomies. We are witnessing the highest levels of sicker children in recorded history. I kid you not. Look it up. Look how and I have another slide. The numbers don't lie, right? The stats are not lying. The numbers do not lie. Here are your 30-year stats. And this is from when I was born in the early 90s. Okay. Look at this. Childhood obesity has more than tripled in the last 40 years. Houston, we have a problem. Okay. Obesity is up 51% since 1999. Type 2 diabetes is up 5% per year. And cancer in children is up 0.5 to 0.7% per year. Okay. Allergies and eczema nearly doubled. And this is on the CDC. You can go on the CDC and these numbers are right on there, right? What is happening? Right. We need to really talk about that. And if allergies and eczema, right, all of this is tied into how strong your immune defense system is, your lymphatic system is. The answer, as we learn how the galt, inside the galt, 70% of that immune defense tissue there is. Can it be the gut? Can it be that our children, right, their little guts are already starting to show damage, that we're not looking at the occurrence of disease, but rather the body desperately trying to stabilize itself, right? Can I get a 4 in the chat? Can I get a 4 in a chat if you really are with me and say, you know what, I'm looking at my body as an intelligence rather than an enemy trying to take me out of here. because that's exactly what it is, right? So this is my favorite slide right here. I love this. Why? Because our current system, right? I'm gonna get this out of here. Our current system, we follow the germ theory, right? Now, the germ theory, let's look at the difference, right? The germ theory states that microbes, right? Something outside of you, germs, somebody coughs, oh, the germ got inside your body and somehow you became sick as well. That person got me sick. How many of us have said that or we heard that, right? Antibiotics based medicine. Oh, we have to kill the bacteria. You're sick. We have to go in and kill it. But antibiotics, they kill everything in its wake, not just the bad ones, okay? And then it ignores the ability of the human body. Did you know that the man who created the germ theory, his name was Louis Pasteur, right? He was like so focused on the fact that germs outside the body cause disease. And on his deathbed, he is noted for saying, I was wrong. It is not the germ that causes disease, but rather the terrain, the host, the person who is already made the perfect environment for that germ to thrive. So if the man himself, Louis Pasteur, and you can look this up on YouTube and Google, if the man himself said he was wrong, why are we still following the germ theory? Okay, so we need to really look at the terrain. What are we eating? What does our internal terrain look like? Right? Disease cannot thrive in a clean, oxygenated, and alkaline internal environment, right? True healing focuses on the terrain, your body's inner ecosystem, right? That galt, right? So we're going to be, again, we're not just coming with the problem. We're going to have the solution. Stay tuned for that, okay? And not just the tumor, the problem, the actual disease, not focusing on the name, but focusing, how do we get here? Okay. And once you really look in and shift your consciousness and say, when we see illnesses as the body's intelligence to return to balance rather than a threat, we move from fear-based medicine to understanding-based healing. Okay, so here we are. Okay, and as I said, I've been studying the eyes. A lot of people call me the eye lady. I've been studying the eyes for 8 years, since 2017. Okay, 2017. I've been really, really just, and I've gotten so much better. If you see my old content from the beginning, you'll see the change. You know, I'm constantly growing, constantly learning so much more about the science and also contributing to the science. Okay, so iridology, the windows to your child's immune system. All right. Now, if you look at the photo, the brown iris on the left, I don't know how you guys are looking at the screen. You see that area where it's pointing to those markings. That area is called your transverse colon. That's that top part of your colon. Before it go, you have your descending on your left, and your ascending on your right. So your top part right under your chest, right under your breast area, that is where your transverse colon is. So a lot of times, you know how we feel like really full, right? We feel bloated, especially on the upper abdomen. It's like it just protrudes there. Well, did you know that that section of the colon houses so much diverse gut bacteria, and that contains a large number of immune tissue? So anytime you feel very bloated, right, just very full right there on your upper abdomen, right, that's where your transverse colon is. That is where a lot of your diverse gut bacteria is. Okay, so as you can see in this child's iris, 7 years of age, he already has dark lines, and dark lines in iridology indicate that there is a subacute chronic challenge going on there, right? And even the dark lines can indicate presence of parasites. So a lot of people ask me, well, can you see parasites? Can you tell if I have parasites in my eye? Those lines here, where it looks like spokes on a wheel, that can be said that a person may have parasites in their gut. Okay, these lines here, Okay. Then you see this is the Peyer's patch zone we were talking about. That's where your gall is. And you see how dark it is around the pupil. Okay. This child is 7. No real the main I had this child as a client patient about 3 years ago. He's maybe 10 now. And the only symptoms he had was he always had stomach aches. And he never really wanted to eat full meals. The mom would say, he would eat a little bit and not eat and then he just, would put it away. Like he wouldn't eat full meals. I had to explain to her that, children are so intelligent. The body is intelligent in itself, but they know when to stop eating because they're so inflamed. And so you have this valve in your stomach that it opens and closes every time you eat food. But what happens is if that valve is inflamed, right, due to poor gut bacteria, well, it's not going to really open the way it should, so that you'll find that your child may not want to eat as much. Okay. So it's not so much as, we need to just pump them with food or something is so terribly wrong. They're just so in tune with their bodies, right? Animals know that too. When animals are sick, they won't eat. They won't eat because they have to give their system a chance to replenish itself, right? And we already talked about the appendix doing what? Replenishing good bacteria when there's an infection or after the infection has gone. Okay, so if you see on the right, the blue iris is a woman. She's an adult female. I believe she was 25 years of age. These gaping holes. A lot of people ask me too, can you tell if I had an organ removed? I remember I had this in story time. I remember I had this client and he was saying to me, look at my eyes. I bet you can't tell what's going on. Well, I asked him, I said, did you recently had a spleen surgery? And he just almost dropped to the floor. He recently had his spleen removed. Okay, so yes, you can tell if there are organ removals. And you see here, she had her tonsils and adenoids removed as a child. Okay. And so you see all of these white areas, that's her immune system, her immune defense lymphatic, all of these, we call it tophi in iridology. So that just means it's very, very inflamed. And then of course you see around the pupil, that's the gut. You see how brown it is? You see how brown? So we again, all of that. I've never seen an iris, including my own, that didn't have some kind of gut issues, because again, everything starts there. I teach that everything starts in the gut and the liver. That's what I specialize in. I specialize in helping people flush their gut and liver for overall better systemic health. Okay, that's what I do. Okay, so we're talking about childhood cancer, right? Childhood cancers and why is it on the rise, right? And so what I like to tell parents, let the cold run its course. Right? We have children, they have colds, we're rushing to Mucinex, rushing to antibiotics, rushing to amoxicillin for the ear infection, right? And so I like to call common colds miracle flushers, right? That's what I call it. When my daughter even said she had a sore throat because she was eating something that she wasn't supposed to, I said, I didn't panic. I said, yeah, your body's doing exactly what it's supposed to. It's flushing out those pathogens, right? It's getting rid of that poor bacteria in your body. Okay, so that as we talked about the tonsils, right? Why is it sore? It's sore because you have this specific immune cell, right, called neutrophils, and this is which is a phagocytic cell that defends against invading microorganisms. When you get your labs, right, and you see the neutrophil numbers, they'll be like, oh, it's really, really high. Well, that's because your body is literally like in an inflamed state. It's literally fighting for you right now. Okay. So when the tonsils are swollen, neutrophils accumulate at that site, and what modern science call infection. Okay. I call it miracle flushers, but we're calling it disease, infection. So suppression of these infections, such as sore throat, runny nose, sinus infections, ear infections, fevers, are suppressing your internal military army you have that fights all disease, including future potential ones. So before you run to that Mucinex, before you run to that amoxicillin, right? Know that each time you get a quote cold, it is every time you get that sore throat and the inflammation, it's literally protecting you against not only the current challenge you're having, but possible future potential ones. That's why back in like the 70s and even the 60s, they'll let if one child had chicken pox, they said, well, bring him over, right? Let's have a chicken pox party. Yeah, you can look that up. And a lot of you put in the chat, you're probably from that era. And you know that this was a thing, right? Because why? Because they said once the child contracts it once, their immune system becomes strong enough to recognize the threat again later on. Isn't that the basis behind, we know what? Put it in the chat, y'all know what I'm talking about, right? We're not going to go into that, right? We're just going to stay on topic, right? But that's what they used to do, right? Let your children play in the mud. Let them get it, diversify what's happening in their body so their body can recognize it later on and fight it. And that's exactly what we're doing, right? Numbing your symptoms doesn't just make the disease simply go away. It shows its face later on in the form of what is called cancer. So think about all those times we suppress our challenges. We just like, oh, let me just take this. I have to go to work. I have to go to work. I can't afford to be sick, right? Let the cold run its course, or use natural products to work with the body. Okay. So eating healthy as a child, it reduces your risk of challenges like obesity and heart disease later on, right? It reduces your child's chances of even allergies. Oh my gosh. Allergies are at an all-time high. If you look at the stats for that, it has, the 90s was like the era for it just exploding, and it's more than ever. Peanut allergies, wheat allergies, pollen, and all children are allergic to specific fruits, right? They can't have specific fruits, and that is because their body it's I call it, or it's called auto intoxication. Their cells are this is so damaged that they can't even tell the good ones for the bad ones. So when they're eating food, it's so confused. The cell has now diverted from its original responsibility. And now we call it autoimmune, but really it's just auto intoxication because the cells are bathing in its own waste. And I have to beg the question, can allergies be reversed with a good, healthy overall diet for long term? Have we studied that? And I've had a couple people say to me that they were allergic to X, Y, and Z, and after they changed their diet, it took them a couple of years, or even a few months, and they weren't allergic to that thing they were allergic to before. Okay. So this is how we bridge the gap, right? Where we need to flood our body with whole food nutrition every day, not fragmented, but whole food nutrition. And the reason why a lot of people say, oh, why do you just love Juice Plus so much? I've been with Juice Plus and looking at their research for the last 5 years. And the reason why I said yes, because I was looking for something that I can suggest to my clients, other than herbs. I mean, I make my own herbs. I make my own herbal teas, my own products, my own tinctures. I have a whole line for children's tinctures, cold and flu, ear infections, everything. But I wanted to add something more, something food-based, not, oh, take this vitamin C, and we don't know what is it really derived from. Are you really going to get all of that vitamin C? Or are you just gonna it's gonna get some of it and you're not gonna get the full, right? I wanted something that was fully 100% cell bioavailable, meaning that the cell is recognizing everything that you're taking in. And I couldn't find anything else close to what Juice Plus has to offer. Okay. You're seeing all the fruits, vegetables, berries, and omegas that you will be flooding you and your children's bodies with. Right? Acerola cherries. How many of us are eating those, right? Which has a high number of vitamin C. And vitamin C is something that we definitely need right now. Okay. They call this the flu season, I really call it the food season, right? I made a video that went viral on TikTok a few years ago where I said, is it really the flu season? Or it's like, food season where you got Halloween on October 31st, right? Children are just eating a bunch of candy, right? Sugar destroys that GALT system, right? Destroys your 70% of that immune system in your gut, right? Then you got the dairy happening with the candy, right? Then roll on in Thanksgiving, more dairy, more sugar, right? Then we got Christmas, and then we got New Year's. By the time January comes, I'll be surprised if you weren't having some kind of mucus coming out of your body. We need to see that. Okay, if we're not seeing that, there's a problem. Okay, if we're not seeing like a bunch of mucus coming out of your body after we just like just took it out, like you're wiped after that. So then by the time January and February and March come along, they're like, oh, we're in like full-blown flu season. No, it is based upon what we are doing in that season. And what I was taught by my teachers was that when the seasons change, so do you. So we have to eat foods based upon the season. When the weather is colder, your blood vessels are more constricted. So you're not going to really like release a lot of waste the way you would in the summertime when it's hot, right? But the good thing about Juice Plus, we actually have studies that show that even after a high fat meal and taking the Juice Plus, it showed less constriction of the vessels. And this is after eating a high fat meal. So this is what, again, I'm always going to sing about nutrition when it comes to overall health, and sing about how Juice Plus is super, super beneficial for not just your children, but for you as well. But we are focusing on the babies. We're focusing on the future generation, right? And every time I look around, right, when they say stats, like one out of eight women will be diagnosed with breast cancer in a lifetime. And I look at little girls, and there's like maybe like a group of them, and I say, wow, just one, right? Out of that group may deal with that in their lifetime, right? I remember I went to my daughter's school for career day, and I brought the Juice Plus with me. I went there for career day. I'm telling them, they were so fascinated by the eyes. They were so fascinated by iridology, because we're teaching, okay, what would you like to do when you get older, when you become an adult? And I'm telling them about, I did a poll. I said, how many of us have allergies? Did you know that over half the classroom raised their hands? Half the classroom, in every classroom. I didn't go to one classroom. I went to about, I remember I was tired that day because I was walking from classroom to classroom, first graders, second graders, third graders. Out of every classroom, the most hands raised that I've seen was in second grade, which 8-year-olds, 7-year-olds, right? I asked them about asthma. Most of them raised their hand. Eczema, some of them raised their hand, but the most that I've seen were allergies. That was the most I've seen. So this is what you will be rewarding your children with, right? Christmas is coming up, right? We're going to be buying our children all of these gifts. Give them the gift of nutrition, right? This is the best, if not the best, one of the best, but if not the best gift that you can give your children is nutrition, right? So when you participate in that, it's called the Healthy Starts for Family program. Did you know that you can get the Juice Plus free for your children? And when the children were taking the Juice Plus and they participated in this program that Juice Plus has, this is what happened, right? 71% started consuming less fast food and soft drinks, 66% visiting the doctor less, 56% taking fewer over-the-counter and prescription drugs, 71% started drinking more water, 60%, that's a really good number, right? 60% are missing fewer days of school. And again, we're seeing a lot of that. A lot of children are missing school due to the sore throats and the sinuses and the mucus and all. this is how we bridge that gap. Okay. And so, as reported for 20 plus years by 250K participating adults whose families took Juice Plus and made healthy changes to their nutrition, hydration, fitness, and sleep habits. Okay. Now, this is also one of my favorites as well. Actually, I'm taking it right now, the superfood. And if you seen the previous slide where we had the fruit capsules, the veggie capsules, and the berry capsules. Well, Juice Plus has made it into an easy on the go powder with all three combined into one. Okay. So nutrition is literally evolved here. And so those same capsules that delivers all of those fruits and vegetables and berries are now in a nice powder mix, in a easy on the go powder stick. Okay, you just add water and just that's it. Okay, and so the amazing thing about this nutrition is backed by over 40. I believe the number is 50. Somebody put in the chat. I'm sure all my people are here. I believe it's 50. I think we just reached 50. Right? Put it in the chat. Right? Put 50 and exclamation marks. With nearly 30 years of research, this nutritional powerhouse is scientifically proven to support immunity, right? Your immune defense, lymphatic. It's gonna take some time getting used to. Immune defense, lymphatic, it's all the same thing, right? Provide antioxidant protection, boost skin vitality, promote heart health, and enhance cognitive function. It is vegan. It is made without GMO ingredients, gluten-free, no added sugars, and certified kosher. If someone is not muted, please mute so we can have a clean recording. Thank you so much. Right. And I want to add that this product, Juice Plus, is NSF certified. Right. That's like above organic. And a lot of professional athletes, they look for that. Right. They have to take products with that NSF certified label, meaning that it's third party tested and exactly what's in the product, that's what's on the label is exactly what's in the product. So it's thoroughly tested for contaminants, any kind of chemicals, GMOs, because all of that can show up in a professional athletes when they get tested before, a big fight, whether you're a boxer or football player or whatever, they look for that. So if you have children, they're into sports, right? This is definitely something that you want to pay attention to and invest in for your child if they're in really high performing athletes. So look at the research, doesn't lie, right? Within 2 to 10 hours is a significant increase in polyphenols, right? Important nutrient family for slowing systemic inflammation and aging overall, right? So you can screenshot this, right? 8 months, improved immunity, fewer common cold symptoms and sickness. I just had one of my clients that called me the other day. She said, no, she emailed me. She said, Dr. Shakira, can you give me a call back? I have some amazing news. And I'm like, oh, okay, great. And she's been taking Juice Plus for 3 years now. Her ferrum levels, if you're familiar with ferrum, that's an iron component. Her doctor has been looking at that for years. It's been like really low and they were concerned. Well, she started taking Juice Plus and a few other recommendations that I gave her. And now she recently got her labs and even the medical doctor said, wow, her ferrum levels had increased. Like it was just, they were like, whatever you're doing, keep doing. And she said, I just had to call you because I know it's the Juice Plus. I know that's what it is because she takes it, when I say faithfully, she puts she said, I don't want the superfood because I love the veggie capsules. I take the veggie capsules, I sprinkle it on my salad. I sprinkle it on my salad. I take the berry capsules, I sprinkle it on my dairy-free yogurt. I just love it, right? And so when I said, oh gosh, you have to send me this in text, something that I can share with people. And now she's sharing with other people of what she experienced. Okay, so we talked about the gut, right? And we talked about the Juice Plus fruits and the vegetables and the berries and the omegas. And now they have just recently rolled out this amazing product that we're just all a buzzed for. We're all here for it. And every time I see this picture, and I know some of you feel the same, we're like, oh, I just love it. You know, Juice Plus is just constantly giving us so many ways that we can just maintain this amazing, intelligent body. So why superbiome, right? This is this new two-step gut health system. We talked about the gut. We talked about where the title of this event is Healthy Gut, Healthy Kids. Why? Why superbiome, right? You see the probiotic here and you see the prebiotic here. We're going to get into that here. Here's just an overview, right? We talked about the gut microbiome. It plays a huge role in how you feel every single day. So superbiome, it's a probiotic plus prebiotic duo. It's a two-step gut health system to really help you to get more fiber in your system. That is literally the precursor for helping you to replenish better gut bacteria, right? And then you have the prebiotic, which delivers the fiber, and you have the probiotic. So just one capsule, which delivers 20 billion CFUs, which is colony forming units, right? Diverse probiotic species from lactobacilli to bifidobacteria. These strains help create a balance and support a diverse, healthy gut microbiome. Okay. And so the prebiotic is in a powder form that's going to deliver your fiber. Then you have your probiotic, which is delivering all of those colony forming units that's going to help to replenish your good gut bacteria. And that is not all. After a while, because not remember we talked about the appendix and how the appendix act as a reservoir for good bacteria. You're going to be replenishing your entire gut system to the point where you're going to create postbiotics, probiotics on your own. And that is where your appendix comes in, right? It's all coming together, right? And so I started taking this about a month ago, and a lot of us, if you're in here, you already have as well. A lot of Juice Plus people are here and noticing amazing results already. Less bloating for sure. Definitely less bloating. Even my daughter, you know, I give it to her too. This is definitely something that you can give to your children, right? Promotes regularity, right? That's another challenge that our children are having. They're constipated. A lot of children not even going every day, right? They're going every other day or maybe 3 days, right? The worst I've heard, and I kid you not, you're going to be wowed. I asked someone who she was 35, and I said, when was the last time you went to the bathroom? Did you know that she said the last time she went to the bathroom was 2 weeks ago? I kid you not. Okay, I kid you not. And then when she went to her doctor, they said, "Oh, you know, it's fine, it's okay." And I said, "Oh, you have to go. You eat every day, right? You have to go every single day." So it's never too late, right? We're wrapping it up. Our bodies replace billions of cells every day. 330 billion cells are replaced daily. That is equivalent to a new replenished you. So you're not a victim, right? We're not in victim mode here. We are in victor mode. And we gave you all the tools that you can be a victor, right? Victor, right? Blood in the gut dominates cell turnover. This is the name of this article, Scientific American. You can look that up if you like. Okay. So this is your commitment to your health. Okay. Your commitment, right? And you're looking at all we have. I mean, we didn't even go over all of the different products. I mean, we have we have our own shakes, which delivers fiber, delivers prebiotics as well. Okay, we have a Perform Shake, which is for high performing athletes, or you want more protein, right? You want more daily protein and illuminate. I mean, it's so much. But again, we are 48 minutes behind the hour. So I just have to take questions from you all and find out what really stood out the most from you, because I can't believe 48 minutes just flew by. Okay, so this is your commitment to your health. Each package comes with a free child order. Free order not included. I typed that twice. Free order not included with the super biome. So the super biome does not come with a free child order, but every other this here, the Juice Plus, the Quad, the Duo, the Trio, the Superfood, those come with a free child order. Okay, so when you order yours as the parent, grandparent, whether you're uncle, aunt, or you just simply want to gift a child that you know this good nutrition, you invest in your nutrition, they get theirs completely for free. Okay, so now is your time. If you are brand new to this and you're like, wow, I learned so much, I am ready to just flood my children, my grandchildren, my nieces, nephews, anyone that you want to sponsor an order for, you just simply choose your specific package. Or if you need us to go over it again, we'll go over it again. You drop your name and your email in the chat. You can drop your name and email anyway to be part of my newsletter. I send really amazing email newsletter every day. I also have boards as well that you guys can follow. I have some free PDF downloads, like different things, how to get rid of, how to know what toxins you have living in your home that's contributing to sickness, right? So you can download all of that free information. Just drop your email, I'll add you on that, okay? And begin your first simple daily habit today, all right? So get started right now. Oh my God, the chat is just blown up. I'm going to check it in a minute, okay? But make sure you drop your name in your email, right? My team is going to get back to you. Team, if you're here, please drop your link so that they can like look on the website. But of course, we're very personal. We want to talk to you, right? So we're going to get in contact with you. But some of you, you're like, listen, I'm ready right now. So I need the link right now. So that's why we have that, okay? So my question to you is, what appealed to you most about this presentation? Now we have Q&A time, right? What appealed to you most? Right, so we can open it up for Q&A. You can post it in the chat, or you can unmute yourself. I'm going to check this chat here. Okay, I would love to have a copy of the Zoom call. Great, yes. All right, someone is putting their emails. Yes, okay, yes.
Dr. Shakira, someone asked, do you see reduction in white spots in the iris after feeding your system correctly?
Oh, yes, that is a good question. Yes, I do. I on my website, I have a picture of an iris of a before and after transformation, where when the person, the individual, did a detox for 6 months, right? They did seeded grape detox for 7 days. They were religiously taking the Juice Plus. They detoxified with herbs as well. You've seen the iris going from dark to light. Okay, you start seeing like all of those areas that were darkened, all of those inflammatory zones that we were talking about before in the iris were beginning to clear up, and the fibers of the iris were tightening. So we measure health in iridology based upon how tight the fibers are in the iris. When they are loose, that means that the person's health, when they get ill, it takes them longer for them to recover. But when you have tight fibers in your iris, that means that you have a strong immune lymphatic system. You have a strong system, and you will recover quickly if you had an illness. So yes, I do see changes when a person changes the environment, their lifestyle, and implement good nutrition. Okay. Someone else has a question.
Yes, she was asking what Juice Plus products helped your clients increase iron in her body.
Okay, now just a full disclaimer, okay? We do not claim anything. I just want to put that out there. That's just something that she told me. And that was her personal testimony. So just wanted to put that out there. Okay, she was taking the trio. She was taking the fruit, the vegetable, and the berries every single day. As I stated, she was sprinkling the veggie capsules on her salad. I started doing that after she told me she was doing that, right? She was taking the berry capsules and taking it to work with her, put it in her dairy-free yogurt. She was getting it in any way she can. So yes, it was the fruit, the vegetable, and the berry that she was taking. Then that's the trio. Okay. Any more questions?
Well,
Dr.
Colette
Newman?
just said that the overall understanding of the gut connection to all parts of our body. Thank you for all the explanations.
Ah, yes. Oh, you're so welcome. You are so welcome, Colette. You are so welcome. And I love sharing. I love simplifying. I love anatomy and physiology. So when I started learning about it, I said, wow, I can just really simplify it. And the more you know about your body, the more you're like, wow, everything in my body, I have my own pharmaceutical company in my body. Did you know that all of the products and the medications and even the Ozempic, all of that, they designed it to mimic what your body already innately does, right? That GLP-1, right? All of that's produced in the duodenum, right? So when you have duodenum inflammation, this is where we see a lot of weight gain, and that GLP-1 is turned off. And so that's where they promote Ozempic for, weight loss and things. And I'm like, wow, our bodies do this already. Once we give it the right foods.
Without
Okay.
the side effects, right?
Without the side effects. Yes, exactly. Without the side effects.
I
Thank
have
you
a
so much,
question.
Dr.
Too
Shakira.
much,
It
too
was an
much to try
awesome
to write.
call.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yes.
Oh, um, and there's, I'm sure there's not a simple answer to this, but like that slide that you showed us with the it was this obese baby, and it was about the obesity epidemic basically for kids. Whenever they're just babies like that, what is the cause that you are seeing, or the primary cause when they're just infants?
Mm. Based upon experience, I would say, the milk that the baby is on, possibly, right?
Not breastfed baby.
We're not breastfeeding as much as we used to. So, formulas, right? Formulas contribute to that. Um, then we're feeding children too early. I didn't start giving my daughter solids until 6 months old. And then even then it was pureed. Like I pureed all of her foods. So we're like, I'm seeing parents and they're giving their child a little chicken at 3 months old, and little pieces of food at 3 months. And even it's recommended to not give a child solid foods until around 6 to 9 months, because that's when their digestive system begins to develop more. But because in the early years of life or early months of life, their bodies are not fully developed, so they can't digest all of that. And that's what I would say that's a contributing factor.
Dr. Shakira, could you please repeat what the dark lines in the eye represent? Beside potential parasites, it was acute what?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
Could you reiterate what the dark lines in the eye represent besides potential parasites? You said it was acute.
Oh, okay. So the dark lines indicate, like in that specific zone, that was in the transverse colon, that part of the upper abdomen area.
Yeah.
That also indicates a poor gut microbiome. So that part of the colon is where a lot of your gut, the diversity of your gut microbiome exists in that area. So when we see dark lines, that's a definite sign of poor gut microbiome, and parasites as easily can be, manifested there. Mm-hmm.
Yes, but there was a specific terminology that you used that started with acute. Do you remember that?
Well, I know I said we have in iridology, we have 4 stages of health. It's acute, subacute, chronic, and degenerative.
Okay.
And that's just based upon tissue stages,
Okay.
right? So you know how with diagnosis of disease, they have stage 1, stage 2, stage 3. With acute, that's like the beginning stages. So a person won't feel any symptoms, but the body is showing a breakdown. And then
Okay.
we have the subacute, which is the second stage of tissue degeneration. And we have chronic and then degenerative, right?
Okay.
So usually the dark markings will show as subacute, close to chronic.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. All right. I'm going to stop sharing, but before we go, right, we are already at the hour mark, right? If that specific client I'm speaking of, her name is Blanche, and she's been talking about Juice Plus so much because of what it has done for her. And so she's even thinking about joining us on our mission to aspire healthy living around the world. So if you are like, wow, this information was amazing, right? You already talk to people. You're the health guru of your family, right? You're the health guru in the office at work. You're always talking to people about take this, take that, or eat that, or well, we definitely invite you to join us, right? You eat Juice Plus for yourself. You share and save on your own product. And then while you're sharing organically, not forcing, right? We're just having organic conversation. We have organic events. You can earn reliable income that way. Okay. So if that is something that you are interested in, right? You want to get your own order. And not only that, you want to take it a step above and say, you know what? I don't want to just order. I want to become a partner with this nutrition, right? And I want to help other people as I'm already talking to people, right? You may already have like that mindset of helping others, right? And so we have a special promotion right now, where if you become a partner, you can receive all of these samples of every product we have for Juice Plus, right? And that will be completely free. It's called the Partner Success Box. So it's packed with all of the samples and resources to help you to kick off your Juice Plus business, right? So not only will you be ordering your own order and becoming a partner, but you will also receive this completely for free. Okay. So I had to share that. I'm going to stop sharing my screen because we are officially done. And I am going to, if anyone doesn't have any other questions, I'm just going to scan this chat. I see all of your emails. Okay. I'm going to save your emails, right? Like I said, your emails are going to be added to my boards and my email newsletters that I send. I send a lot of information there. Okay. Let's see. I'm going to anybody else have any other questions before we end the recording? Okay. Yes, 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 you're all welcome. You're all welcome. Okay. So I'm going to stop the recording now.